Love Doctor is a platform for you to ask questions about relationships, love, and sexual health, right? All of the things like we feel these subjects थोड़ा सा taboo है ना, हम खुले से बात नहीं कर सकते हैं इस subjects के बारे. And you can see that my colleagues have actually created movements based on the fact that love is a radical thing. I wanted to talk today about love in a time of moral policing. Okay, so as we've heard today, especially when we talked about honor killings and we talked about Pinjratod and we talked about Take Back the Night, we're in a society that's shifting pretty like crazily, right? All of a sudden, from before, young people want autonomy over the way they love, how they love, who they love, and in which way they meet people to love. And not only love, but we're also now interested in desire. We're also now interested in pleasure. And these are things that we have been denied, right? Sometimes society tells us, as we can see from many of these things that we're fighting against, these movements are fighting against, that these are things that are told to us that we're not allowed to have. So the conversations that we have on Love Doctor, let me just tell you a little bit about what we do. So it's a platform. We operate via SMS, WhatsApp, and chat. So you can ask questions about those three areas that I said, relationships, love, and sexual health, to qualified counselors. And what it is it's not gyan. Like it's, you don't say ke, mujhe kisi ke saath kuch chakkar hai and I love this person, tell me what to do. We have a conversation with you to identify what is the best course of action. And if there is no action, the most radical thing that you can do is create an open space for somebody to share their feelings without fear that somebody's going to be watching you, somebody's going to tell you what to do, somebody's going to tell you how to dress, somebody's going to tell you how to love. And so in this way, our platform provides an open space for anyone to share these things that we probably feel most scared about, right? Think about it. I'm not going to ask how many of you have been in love, okay? I won't ask that question, but some of you may be smiling right now because you know what that feeling is like. आप सो नहीं सकते, खा भी नहीं सकते, पी भी नहीं सकते. You can't think about anything else, right? And these things change our lives. These questions become the most important questions in our lives. And now what's happening is, from the beginning to the end, if our women, if the women of this nation are not allowed to step outside of a hostel, right? If they're not trusted to step outside of the hostel and occupy spaces which are rightfully theirs, then you're also basically extending that to say that theek hai, then where do we stop with this type of policing of women in particular? So I wanted to share with you, one thing that I found this quote, right? Everybody knows Rumi. The moment I heard my first love story, I started looking for you, not knowing how blind that was. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along. And that to me is the most radical thing that we can think about today. That love and connection, intimacy, sexuality are not some things that just like sort of root in us all of a sudden because we're bad girls and we're going outside of the hostel. These things are in us. They're biological processes. We are made to connect with each other, right? In this room, I may see, somebody that I think is really cute and want to talk to that person. And that's something that's in me. That feeling is natural. And we're trying to stop that. So that's something that Love Doctor wants to fight against, in the sense that we want to make these things okay to talk about, right? Like everybody has that feeling inside. That feeling that you had when I said, you can't eat, you can't sleep, you can't think. We've all experienced that. And more so than that, the manifestations of those connections, whether it's temporary or whether it's permanent, I don't care. We don't judge. Our parameter is around consent between two adults. कि you should be able to sort of be able to make a decision सोच समझ से. We don't care about what the law is, so we also talk to lots of LGBT like clients as well who are wondering how they can manifest a relationship with somebody in a society that tells them that their love is wrong, that their love is illegal, that they don't have any rights to love the people that they want to love. So I think that like some things that I've noticed in terms of the questions we get asked is that these dynamics around moral policing are really affecting the way that young people think about pursuing their passions for somebody, right? We all of a sudden, especially the women who talk to us, they get very concerned about what people are going to think, and this is more so than usual, and I think that's because we have been telling women that everything is your fault, right? If you get raped, it's your fault. If somebody's looking at you and harassing you, it's because you're wearing leggings. You know, it's everything is your fault. Even love is your fault. Love. The family of the girl is the one who's going to kill the couple, who's going to do the honor killing, because the honor belongs to her, right? So it's her fault, basically. We were saying at the end of the day to uphold that honor, and I think that women are targeted, and we're told that, like, you know, one thing. There's two things. We are vilified because we are told and made wrong because people don't want us to reach out for information, right? They don't want us to seek the answers. And we're also vilified and we're also subjugated because we don't know the answers. So you can't win. An example is that, like, you know, the natural body processes that we have, menstruation, pregnancy, puberty, when you don't know about those things, you grow up with a fear of your own body, the own natural processes of your body, right? And people can take advantage of that, of course. But if you are somebody who openly seeks information and you use that information sometimes to make more informed decisions about your life, let's say that you're a woman who's trying to buy a condom in any city in India. If you try to buy a box of condoms, you'll understand what I mean, that there's an additional, that is actually a wise decision, right? Somebody's taking charge of their health and making a decision to have safer sex. And she's taking that decision into her own hands. But our society, and the way we look at it, says that that decision is wrong, even though it's a good decision for her health, right? It's a good decision for her well-being. And if we look for answers, then also we are considered to be bad, right? So if I'm a woman who is watching porn, or I'm asking a friend about sex, then sometimes in those instances, I'm also marked as being a bad girl. So we can't, as women, openly talk about things, seek information, or use the information that we have to make better choices. So these are all the things that Love Doctor is sort of working against, just by sort of creating an open place where you can ask questions and nobody will judge you. But I think that, you know, ultimately what you know, my comrades here are doing is raising, you know, their voice in open is much more beneficial to society than what I'm trying to do. But for the rest of the society, for the rest of the people that are not as brave as these wonderful people, let's create a middle space where they can begin to get the courage to go out to these movements and raise their voice.